Hi, my name is Charlene. I'm here with Jonathan O'Berty of both Ivan and Tagesta. Is that right? Jonathan, is that how we say the brands that you represent?
It sure is.
Okay, awesome. And Jonathan, I mean, you're no stranger to this industry. I think you were born into the industry. Is that right?
Yeah, I was born in the 80s, and in that time, my dad had a successful wholesale business wholesaling Bosch and Lomb frames. I believe they had Ray-Ban back then. And from there, he started opening up some retail shops and started Golden Wood with Maurice, and that's kind of all I've been around in kind of my whole life. And when I was about 18 years old is when I really saw what a potential industry this is, where eyewear was becoming less medical, more fashion. So, um, yeah,
So now you've been to a couple of physical trade shows in your life, I would imagine.
a bunch, definitely a bunch.
And is this going to be your first virtual trade show?
My first one, and I'm super excited for it.
Yay! And what's really great is I know that you just did maybe what was your first boutique trade show with the Eyewear Art Walk in Florida. Was that your first kind of intimate setting of a trade show?
Definitely. The closest thing I did to that was Vision Expo in Vegas, but that's on a way bigger scale. But it was similar in the sense that we all had our designated suites on the same floor, and people were popping in and basically going into each suite in a queue, basically. Um, so yeah,
It's great. And when we started building my vision show, everybody who helped to design it has been to many shows as well. And it's really about the networking, I think, is the most important thing that you need to be able to take away from that. And what's interesting is that even though you've gone to the physical show, now you'll be at the virtual show. You were even a new connection for me, which is kind of exciting. So I think missing those connections is a big problem. If you want to have a functional business, you need to be able to still network and connect beyond, the typical social media or Zoom meetings, which don't really provide a whole lot of one-on-one interactivity. So what I'd like to demonstrate, and I'd like to, encourage you, if you have any questions, let me know, is I'd like to demonstrate to you how it's set up. This is going to be a simulated workflow. So when the show is live, everything's going to be seamless. Like you're not going to see what you're going to see when I demonstrate it to you. This is really just for vendors so they can kind of understand the layout. But from the user experience standpoint, they're not going to have to choose links and everything. It's going to happen pretty much autonomously. So it all starts when you go to myvisionshow.com. We have a link here where you can register and a link here where you can check in. So what we're doing is we're sending emails to everyone in my database. I have over 20,000 eye care professionals between my network and all of the lists that all of the labs and frame vendors and everyone that we work with have shared with me. So we can have one super solid list to market to. Everyone has shared their list, which is super awesome. Email is not super effective with something like this. So in addition to email, we're getting notified when somebody opens the email. And I actually have a concierge booking team who is literally reaching out to people one-on-one, sending them the registration link and saying, look, I've just registered you. Make sure you check in. So we want to make sure that we're making it clear to the attendees. Not only is it important that they register, but it's really important that they check in. We're going to have some true events during this exhibit. There's going to be tons of opportunities to interact, and we just want to make sure, because a lot of these events have limited seating. We want to make sure that we have a good understanding of who's checking in, so we can know, who's coming and navigate everyone. So I'm going to go ahead and register just to show you what that looks like. As you can see here, it says to check out our directory, which we'll do in a moment. But first, I'm going to register. And it's telling me to sign up for my free admission. Now, what's really cool about these forms is they're smart. So if your browser has your info, they don't have to enter in anything. It has it all right there for them. And then I can just indicate all of the things I'm interested in. And we use this for you guys so that when we get this, it actually gives us a tag. So every time someone clicks one of these boxes, that person gets a tag indicating that they are interested in CE or interested in lab solutions or interested in frames. And this way, when we're parsing leads out at the end of this for those that have participated as a vendor, we'll be able to give you hyper qualified leads, because these are people that not only attended this event, but that also indicated that they were interested in working with you. The other really cool thing is that we're using an intuitive platform that tags the visitor everywhere they go. So this way it's kind of demonstrating their interest. And this way we can make sure we're following up with them appropriately. With over 60 vendors, we really don't want to have 60 people reaching out to these attendees. We do want to match the attendees with the products and services they're most interested in. So the follow-up process with this is going to be really exciting for those that have been looking for a new way to generate qualified leads. So as you can see, once they register, they're brought here to check in. And just skimming through this really quick, I mean, obviously I didn't grab the directory, but here it is again. And it's just reminding them that they have to check in. When they check in here, they put their information right here and check in. And now we know not only did they register, but they've gone through a series of pages. The reason we do that is there's a lot of information about this. And we have 4 shows worth of learning to get to the user experience that we're at today. We're super excited to have so many more vendors engaged, like you, Jonathan, on this event, because we are really relying on your feedback. Everything here is hardwired. There's no like plug and play automation. Everything in this user experience is built on logic, and that logic is potentially not perfect. So even just with that workflow that I just went through, I'll probably go in once or twice more and just streamline that a little more, because we do want them going through these pages and checking in, but we don't want them to go to 3 windows to check in. So here's the directory. And again, we did this because the first thing people have when they sign up for my vision show is a ton of questions. What is this? Who's going to be there? What can I do? What is it? What is this? What is a virtual show? Most people haven't really ever been to a virtual trade show. They've been to summits where there's like 5 brands talking about how amazing they are, giving out, CE, whether it be free or paid. And it's all about the, same old, same old. Trust me when I tell you, there is no virtual experience out there trying to give the same look and feel of a virtual trade show with over 60 vendors. So it's broken down by experience, and you'll see what I mean in a moment. Once you get into the event is broken down by experience, because we want you to be able to choose where you would like to go as an attendee. So in order for you to understand that way ahead of time, a week early, and actually this directory has been live for a couple of weeks now, you can come in and you can take a look and see all of the different vendors that are going to be there. So you may say, okay, wait, I really do want to go to the factory and check out Global Frames and Horizon Lens. Or you may say, hey, I want to really go to the Optical Near Me suites and learn about, Jonathan's amazing brand Tagesta, and, why this really cool interactive hip brand, what role they play in Optical Near Me. And as you notice, there's some vendors that are in a couple of different experiences because they just fit. One of them is like Devet's Lunettes. Stephen Fournier is the founder of the Eyewear Art Walk, so you will see his frames on Devet's Lunettes. However, you will also see his frames on the Optical Near Me suites because we use him there as well. So there are a lot of opportunities to interact. We're trying to guide this through user experience. And there was a check-in page that you saw. So I'll just show you here what the check-in page looks like. There's a list of FAQs here. So once they get to the check-in page, they may want to learn a little bit more. Again, there are lots of questions that people have, and they're not always going to want to call to get those answers. And we don't necessarily have an information desk. So we did this just to make it easy for people to do their research so they don't miss out on this amazing opportunity. And again, once they check in, it's a short form. It tells them to come back on December 4th. So now they know for sure, I'm registered, I'm checked in, and then on the back end, we're getting notifications that they've checked in. That's when we're going to be advertising specific events. So we're not really promoting specific events, and you'll see these events in a moment, to anyone who's just registered, because there's over 2,000 people registered for my vision show. There's only a few hundred that have checked in. So I have my concierge booking team working really hard to get the people who are registered to check in so we can see what our true attendance is going to be. And then after they check in, we're heavily promoting the events to them and making it clear to them that there are 3 jam-packed days that they can take advantage of. Most of these events that are virtual, they do have limited seating. So I mean, and by limited, I mean 50. So I mean, most of them, we put up the events page, for instance, for the fashion frame show last night, and already we're 50% full. So the beautiful thing about these events is you have to think about it. A virtual event looks just like a Zoom meeting. You don't really want more than 50 people on that. I mean, how many heads can you look at for an hour or two? So the really cool thing is that if we're full to capacity, we can live stream the event as well. So if people want to still kind of participate, they won't be able to necessarily interact beyond chatting with the room, but they'll be able to at least see what's going on and make sure they get there earlier for the next time. And as you can see, we've broken this down into 3 days. We have day 1, which is going to be focused on technology. As a brand, we recommend that you market every single day of this show on our channels and on your channels. And we recommend that you focus on specific things that you do as a brand that fit into these 3 genres or these 3 categories, because every brand has a technology component. I'm sure you could talk about Intigesta, some of the things you've done to make sure that the frame has a really good construction, or some of the technology that you do to promote through Ivan. You've created some beautiful videos. You've used amazing technology to promote the brand. So you can play into that narrative and say, hey, I know today's all about technology. This is what we're doing for you to keep you ahead of the cutting edge. Same thing with service, and obviously with fashion. If you're a couture frame line or a luxury frame line, this is definitely the day that you want to stay hyper focused. Super cool thing is this is the very first time in history that a hybrid show has been pulled off. So on day 3, when we're concluding my vision show and digging into this day of fashion, the Eyewear Art Walk is going to be starting in the Mid-Atlantic show. So there is going to be some cool hybrid elements you're going to see take shape as well. If at any point you as a vendor are watching this, and of course you too, Jonathan, if you have any questions at all about these events and how do you participate, you know, we've opened to Zoom meetings, but for a lot of people, there's a lot of question marks on this. You know, what do I need to do? What technology and equipment do I need to have? User experience is our primary concern here. Everything is super intuitive. When you go to this link and you click it, you go right into the room. It is powered by live stream technology. So just like when you go to Zoom, you'll be able to use your camera and your audio to see and communicate with people. But unlike Zoom, you will not need meeting links and dial-in numbers and, you know, passwords. It is an instant access. So now we've seen the outside of the show. Let's see what happens when all these countdowns, we've all seen the countdowns. Everyone wants to know what happens when the countdown ends. Well, when the countdown ends, you're going to automatically have a link that's going to bring you here if you've registered, obviously. So the really cool thing about this My Vision show is we wanted it to be super easy for everyone. So we have abandoned all passwords. So when you register, you will get the link, but when you click the link, you'll be automatically granted access. You won't have to enter in a password or anything like that. When you get in here, you'll see the 6 experiences like we spoke about. The one we always recommend you start at is the lounge. And obviously, as we're changing the theme from day to day in the lounge, you're going to see that that's going to transform every day to fit the theme. So I'll go there now. So this is what the lounge looks like. We're being sponsored in the lounge by Imaginem. This is an emerging magazine that focuses solely on independent frames, eyewear frames. Super, super, super cool publication. And they're very successful in Europe and in Canada. They're actually coming to the US through my vision show. They're very excited to be here. So it's a really cool opportunity as well, because they're also going to be an omni-channel magazine with both the physical and virtual component. And there's even talks of them adding a virtual try-on into the digital edition. So it's going to be a really cool interactive opportunity. And as you can see, it's just super easy to navigate. Everything is here. And then we have all of the exhibits listed here. So this is the only experience in the entire library that gives you access to all of the exhibits, with the exception of the all exhibits page. The reason we broke this down by experience is what we've noticed in the last shows is 60 is a lot. It's an awful lot. So people want to be able to participate, but they want to be able to participate with the exact things that they're interested in. So you'll notice when we go to the first screen that we entered in, if they want to just go to the Eyewear Art Walk, they can actually click there and they will go just to Eyewear Art Walk. And then they'll only see the Eyewear Art Walk exhibits, which I haven't added them all in here, but they will be added. I wanted to show you what a booth looked like. This is the Coco Song booth. It's exquisite. I mean, they were very happy. So when we're setting up your booth, we're going to use your video. We're going to use one piece of content, which they gave me their catalog. We can also set you up with a sales page.
I think you just muted yourself.
Yes, I did. I had a child and a dog. So, you know, if somebody is roaming through my vision show, it isn't like Vision Expo where they're going to go in and be like, oh, I'm going to go to the Coco Song booth. I can't wait to see my rep. What's more likely to happen is they're going to come to the show. They're going to be like, I don't even know where to start. Okay, Eyewear Art Walk. Let's see what that brings me. And then they'll come to the Eyewear Art Walk and they'll say, okay, you know, who's here? There's a lot of navigation with this. So, I mean, you can't build an experience like this of this size without the navigation. And it's very important that those experiences, that they're very easy to find, because if they're not, then people do get frustrated and they do give up. So I'm going to be sending you, Jonathan, and everyone else, obviously, who's going to see this video, I'll be sending them links so they can simulate what the experience is going to look like once they get in. I want you to look at very specifically, and I know we're still building yours, but once it's finished, your products, where they're placed, and make sure that you're happy with how the navigation works, because if not, you can, you know, give me suggestions. We're happy to listen to them. And yeah, I'd love to hear your feedback.
Definitely. I mean, the platform and the layout and the setup of everything is extremely amazing. I think this is revolutionary, as you already know. The only thing, the only, what's this word I'm looking for? The only challenge I think is that we're creating this show for an industry that's very old school. So the main objective, I think, is to educate people that this is, you know, the new normal. So you better get used to it and just dedicate some time to it, because it's very easy, and it's, you know, it might scare you off a little bit because it's on the internet, but you know, you can do it at the comfort of your own home or your own office, and it'll save you time, money, and it'll keep you COVID free.
Well, thank you for all of those points. You're so right. And a couple of things I want to say just to play off of that. First is, this is not designed to substitute or replace physical shows in any way. As a matter of fact, we're partnering with physical shows because there are some tactile experiences that you need to have when you're buying frames that you can only have at a physical show, which is why we've partnered with the Eyewear Art Walk, because this is typically true with frames above all else. So
Right.
we will be looking for more opportunities to do more of a hybrid event. Why the virtual platform is so important is we've all been to Vision Expo and we've had a list a mile long of all the things we're going to do. Then you get in, you wake up late, you got a hangover, you bump into some buddies. Next thing you know, that list of 80 things ends up being 3 that you've actually achieved. And the other 77 were just as important. What's beautiful about my vision show is it is evergreen. It comes back quarterly. You don't have to buy a plane ticket to go there. You don't have to fly your team there to go there. You don't have to get a room or hotel or food or anything to go there. Right now, the show has been covered by the cost of the vendors. We are going to encourage more and more vendors to, continue their contribution. So this way we can continue to make this free for all, because it is for independence. And we think it's important for an eye doctor's office or an optician to be able to take their whole team and say, look, we don't have to shut down for the weekend. Let's just shut down for lunch for 2 hours and let's just explore together. I mean, Susie can be on her iPhone while Dr. Smith is on the computer, while Billy is on a laptop, and they can all be side by side exploring this exactly the way they would at a regular Vision Expo. So it is designed to be used as a tool. This isn't just about being cool and saying, hey, we got something fun and new and different. It is really the whole reason this started in the first place was I couldn't handle how many amazing brands like Ivan, like Tegesta, like Optical Near Me, like Ion Labs, like Devets, and I mean, I can go on and on for days. How many of these amazing brands are out there that people don't even know about? Because when they go to the shows, if they go, they're attracted like flies to the light, to the lights and the party and everything. And those are typically given by the larger companies. So unless someone's going to, like you mentioned before, the Loft or the Suites in Vegas and New York, or really digging into the gallery, they're not bumping into the amazing brands. And typically your wholesale costs are not really that much more than what they would pay for, let's face it, licensed stuff that isn't even nearly at the level that you sell. So, I mean, there's so many missed opportunities because the connectivity just is not happening between the amazing brands in this industry and the people who need them. So that really is what my vision show was designed to be. And I don't feel there's any excuse why any eye care professional that's independent wouldn't be here, because I can't think of another opportunity that would give this much of a comprehensive ability to really get in and do the research required to run your business like you're actually in the driver's seat, which is why we're calling this the Springboard Summit of 2021. Any closing remarks, Jonathan? I love your feedback. It was awesome.
No, this is some really this is some amazing stuff, and like I said, it's just about getting people on the platform and showing them how amazing it is. And like, look, the benefit for my vision show is that people are eager to search the industry for new things that they haven't been able to see all year. You know, part of the reason why I joined the Eyewear Art Walk 1 or 2 days before the start of it wasn't because I had a lot of appointments and whatnot because I had zero appointments. The only reason I went was because I was so eager to be around other people in my industry and just have those conversations that I've missed all year because none of the shows have happened. So what this does is it allows for people to connect in a way that they're used to doing at these shows, but from the comfort of their own home or office. So when people get word of this, I think it's going to spark like wildfire because everyone's eager to explore, discuss, and learn new things.
And actually, there's one thing I wanted to remind you of, because this is something I realized after the second or third show I did. I could not figure out why I wasn't getting the energy and experience with it like I was looking to give. And I realized when you have a Vision Expo, and I mean, these Vision Expos are beautiful. I've been to them, my entire career, and I love them. I've had a lot of great memories there. But I mean, Reed provides the exhibit space. That's it. It comes to life when each brand visualizes how they want to take their little tiny footprint in there and make that little mini experience in the big experience their own special experience. Nobody gives you a roadmap. Nobody says this is what you should do. You just know. So what's beautiful about my vision show is when you sign up as a vendor, you get the most amazing experience ever because I'm working with an optometrist, and together we consult and coach the brands and how to translate how you would normally physically represent your brand into a virtual representation. And we work with you to bring that dream to life. When we started with Coco Song, the very first thing that he said to me was, I don't even know how to do it. Like, how do we even start with this? And I can't get to the link right now, but I was so excited to put it together because I knew exactly what to do. I mean, his brand is beautiful, it's visual, it's easy to represent that. But once you have your exhibit built, just like at Vision Expo, I mean, I'm doing the best I can to direct these people based on their interest. But as a brand, I mean, it costs you nothing to say, hey, come see Tajesta in the Optical Near Me Suites in my Vision show, or come see Ivan in the Eyewear Art Walk at my Vision show, or if you're a lens vendor to say, or, one of our labs to say, hey, come see, iCraft or, See Better or My Friend's Lab or Sunshine or, R&D in, the Optical Near Me in the factory. And if you think about it, with 60 brands, if each of us just promotes our own little experience, that's all we need to do. We need to train our audience how to utilize this show to get what we want them to get out of it. And one closing remark, and Jonathan, I haven't told you this before, but we do have what's called luxury live stream lounges, which are personal rooms that we are giving to a select group of exhibitors. This is a premium feature that we're making available for next year, but we want to pilot it. So we will be giving you, Jonathan, a luxury live stream lounge so you can invite up to 49 guests. You're in control of who you invite there. So this way, you don't have 40 people that you don't want there. You want to be able to use your room to your ability. So you'll be able to host your own party and invite people. Now they're already aware of my vision show, but a lot of them aren't going to know exactly where to go. So if somebody sees you promoting, hey, Ivan or Tajesta, whichever you prefer, is hosting a, party in the Tajesta booth, and here's the link. I mean, yeah, they're gonna be like, oh my God, I heard about this, but now I can go to a party that's being hosted by Jonathan. I like Jonathan, he's a cool guy. So that this is the way that we're trying to kind of simulate the interactivity that we just do naturally at a physical show. So I hope you're willing to accept that because it was something I was waiting to tell you. What do you think about that? Can you think of some people you would invite to your luxury live stream lounge?
Of course, and I would be honored to host my own luxury suite lounge. I think that's huge because, as a user or a buyer going through all the booths, I'm going to have some questions. So it'll be really great that I can ask those questions and get those answers from the host of whoever it is I'm going to see. One of the things I was thinking about was the fact that there's a host and he's explaining and answering all these questions. I think it's imperative that each host has sort of an extra help of hands, one person, just to facilitate the questions and to, I guess, reply to the people on a real time basis, so that we basically are able to have this live stream suite be very much like real time and not have any of that weird lag where the host is looking at the questions and reading them. The host is just talking to the screen, basically. You know what I
Well,
mean?
no. So the way it works with the live stream lounge is you are face to face with everybody who's in your booth. So you'll see your face and you'll see the face of everybody else who's on there. And you'll all be, it's like more like an open discussion. So you can format it however you want. But we typically recommend for the first couple to do like a meet and greet and maybe say, hey, like I think for Ivan, if you were to do it for them, it would be really cool to just say, hey, if anybody here has ever had Japanese quality before, let me know because in just doing a little bit of research on your brand before the Eyewear Art Walk, I mean, I was blown away at the story. It was just incredible. And people love a story. And I don't know how many people really understand. You look at the frames from Ivan, they look like pretty basic aesthetics, but then when you dig into the details, there's a lot of attention to details that I think people might not always be aware of. That might be a good opportunity for you to just open the discussion to how to look for the right, type of quality details, or maybe just talk about history, or maybe just say, hey, it's going to be a hangout. You can set the formatting, so that this way, we've set up other events inside of the show that have a very specific format. But when we're giving these rooms to the vendors, we really want to leave it up to you to decide what format you want to have. And then obviously we'll be here to help you set that up. So it sounds like you're thinking about more just having people come and ask questions. Is that right?
Yeah, and I'm super open to everything. So depending on how it goes is the way it goes, and I'm all for it. So I'm really excited to do this.
Yeah. We'll do a walkthrough of that. And there are 6 other people that have been hand selected. So I'll be letting them know as well. So if you're one of those people and you're watching this walkthrough, we will definitely be giving you a training on the live stream lounge beforehand, so you understand how it works. And yeah, I mean, that's basically it in a nutshell. In a lot of ways, this is probably going to be a pilot for you, Jonathan, and many, many, many other vendors like you. It took us 4 tries this year to get the platform to this level. If you knew where it started, you'd be really blown away at how much we've grown from the first clunky, glitchy platform we actually invested in from somebody who was the leader, quote unquote, in virtual trade show platforms. So we look forward to having you come and make your own experience and share your feedback. And I mean, that's how we're going to grow this together.
I love it, and I'm super proud of you for coming up with this idea and executing it, because it's going to change the way the industry does business.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Well, all I want is for people to participate and use it. I mean, that's my dream. So if you can do that and be a leader in that regard, you got my pom poms going up in the air. That's for sure.
I love it.
All righty, I'll let you run, Jonathan. Thanks for helping me on this walkthrough. And if you're watching this and you have any questions, you know how to reach me. In my email, you'll have my signature, and you can always call me at 917-789-5948. All right, we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.